Owning a club is profitable business, and club owners are some of the richest people in the world. But who are they? That is the question. Welcome to Money Talks, brought to you by Life's Comments. I am Anushilewo, Jimmy Anushilewo, and today we are with us Izuchukwu.
Hi.
Izuchukwu, welcome to Money Talks. So, Izu, what does it mean to own a club?
Just find any club you like and just buy.
You say it as if it's just, you can just enter markets and just buy.
If you have the money and you just want something to, something to one of your sites, hobbies.
It's only you that will equate owning a club with being a side hobby.
Yeah, that's what it is for some of these people.
Yeah, but let us rephrase that question.
Okay.
Like, what does it mean to own a club?
Like I said to you earlier, just find a club that you like or a sport that you like. And if there is a team you've been eyeing, obviously you must have money. Because, yes, you must have money to want to even attempt to get a club. And then you decide that you really want to do this. You want this thing to be your toy. You want this thing to be your baby. So you just go out there, and if they decide to sell to you, fine. And then you take up the responsibility of being the face of that particular club. So for me, I think that's what it entails to basically own a club. And for most of these guys, it's just that a hobby.
Wow, a hobby. Right. We'll get back to that later. But let's go to this. Can you give us the breakdown of the richest club owners in the world?
Okay. So normally, we all know that football is the most popular in the world, right? Sports in the world. However, some of the richest people or the owners don't own football clubs. This is where the big sports in the US, sort of reign supreme. So do we take it from the top, or would you like me to go from the bottom? Because according to Forbes current list, right, you have 25 guys.
I don't think we have time for
who are the richest in the world.
I don't think we can take on 25 guys right now.
Yeah, so break it down.
Yeah, just let's do.
So in terms of net worth for the 25, I'll give you their net worth, right? About 607 billion combined. A lot of money, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of money. But two of these guys in the top 5 account for over 200. Yes.
That's interesting.
Do you get? So at number 5, we have the only football team in the top 5. And interestingly, it is not your Chelsea. It is not your Manchester United. It is not your Real Madrid. But a club in Portugal, FC Famalicão.
That's interesting indeed.
Yeah, so the owner is Idan Offer, who happens to be from a shipping background. So his source of wealth is shipping, and he has about 22.1 billion, and that is 22.1 billion. That is his net worth. So he comes in at number 5. So at number 4, we have Daniel Gilbert, whose source of wealth is mortgage lending, and he is the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, a basketball team, and he's worth around $27.8 billion. Obviously, it is dollars. So that's basketball. This is more or less a basketball-dominated list, and then we have the lady, Miriam Alderson, and her family, about $32.1 billion. And of course,
not from that kind of family.
Are you into casino?
I see. As long as it's money, I just want to.
So Adelson is into casino. That's her source of wealth, and so they own. One team that trended recently, the Dallas Mavericks. The shocking trade, Luka Doncic to LA Lakers. So she is number 3. She and her family, according to Forbes. And then we have the number 2 guy from Adelson's 32.1 to 110 billion.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So that is the gap, the top 2 guys. So Rob Walton is the heir to the Walmart empire.
The same Walmart.
Yes, Walmart empire. And for him, he owns an NFL team, Denver Broncos. And of course, like I said, he's worth 110 billion. Then sitting at the top is LA Clippers owner who somehow got into sports ownership 3 years ago when he bought the LA Clippers. And he is what, about 118 billion, right? 118 billion. And what makes it very interesting is that I think this guy was more or less interested in changing Clippers' life because they were sharing court and so many things with their more illustrious guys, the LA Lakers. And since he came in, he has not only given them their own court, their own home, but totally changed the life of that club. And then, of course, they are one of the famous event centers in the world. So there you have your top 5 richest sports.
As you mentioned all those figures, I feel like the atmosphere of this place should be heavier.
Yeah, maybe you should try getting into casino or mortgage lending or shipping or who knows, Microsoft tech.
Yeah. So now, how is owning a club profitable? Because to some people now, they feel that once you buy a club, you are the alpha and the omega. You can do whatever you like with the club. Is that how it is, or is it more like maybe you get shares in the club? And how do they make money? How do these guys get money from owning these clubs?
Well, here's what I will say, right? Firstly, in terms of the ownership, it just depends. If I'm allowed to give some examples, Roman Abramovich was owner of Chelsea. He was the sole guy in charge of Chelsea. Now we have a situation where there is a group of consortiums that came together with Todd Bodley, like the face, right? He is now the face. We also have a situation where you can buy shares, Manchester United. So Inox with Sir Ratcliffe and the Glazers. So Ratcliffe sort of bought some shares. So he's not the owner per se for Manchester United. You also have other owners. So it all depends on which club and the structure they have in place. But I want to believe that most of these owners prefer sole ownership. I know for Manchester United, the Qatari guy was trying to buy Manchester United outrightly. He just wanted to own everything. So you have situations like that, and depends, like I said, it depends on the structure of the club and what they are allowed to do. For some, they are listed in the stock exchange, so you just have to buy shares. If you can buy the entire shares, the same thing with Arsenal. They have a highest shareholder, the Kroenke guy. So it just depends on what the structure of the club is and what they are allowed to do.
How do
they make profits?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that these guys for me, are not really into this, some of this sports thing to make profits. Yeah, because and you can tell from their various sources of incomes, these guys are already billionaires looking for where to put small change. And so compared to what they spend in some of these clubs and where they are coming from, it is small change. I don't think any of them are buying clubs to make profit. So I see it as more or less like their hobby, a side hustle, passion, if you will.
I don't think the Glazers are passionate about owning Manchester United. I don't think whenever they want Manchester United, they are passionate.
Let's leave the Glazers. They are too unserious for us to say so many things about them. But Ibrahimovic mentioned something